Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. So today I'm reviewing Bill and Ted Face the Music. This was directed by Dean Parros and once again stars Keanu Reeves and Alex Winters. Joining the cast this time is Samara Weaving, Bridget Lundy-Paine, and William Sadler returns as Death. The film really looks at how Bill and Ted are now middle-aged men with kids, and they're still trying to write this song that was meant to unite the world. And they still haven't done it, or they don't know if they've done it. And their music's evolved. They start to wonder if what they're doing has any point or purpose. And circumstances arise where they're once again thrown into time travel. And they have to travel to different times to work out what the song is. We get to see the future once again, but in a different way, in a much better way, I think. We also are introduced to their daughters, Thea, played by Samara Weaving, and Billy, played by Bridget Lundy-Paine. And these characters are really great. They're very similar to their fathers. Billy especially sort of walks a bit like Keanu Reeves' Ted, which I really like. And Samara Weaving's Thea, she sort of is unique like Bill, I think, in a lot of ways. But they're different. But where they differ from their fathers is they're highly intelligent and they have a real understanding and respect for music and a real love for it. And that sort of comes out of them throughout the film. I like that it sort of has two journeys in a way, with Bill and Ted doing what they have to do and Thea and Billy as well doing their thing as well. And I just felt like I could see a spin-off with the daughters in another film if they could come up with some really great idea, because I think they're really interesting and fun characters. It's been 29 years, I think it was, since the last film was made, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And a sequel to come out to something that happened over 20 years ago doesn't always work. There's been some other films that just didn't compare. Zoolander 2 is an example of that, but there's been so many sequels after so long that didn't work. But this differs from that because it actually does work. They keep a lot of the same humour they had in the first two films. It pays tribute to the first two films, but is also its own thing. It's sort of breathing new life into what they created. This film has a lot more heart than the previous movies, and there's a lot more at stake in this than there was in the other two films. It's a very relevant film in a way. Like, I read an interview with Alex Winters and he talked about he wanted to create a movie that had a message for 2020, a good message and a positive message. And that's exactly what this film really feels like it has. It's a very fun and entertaining movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it takes itself seriously enough to give you a lot of heart and the evolution of the characters. Like, Bill and Ted are still the sort of similar characters we met in the first film, but they've sort of evolved as well. They realise that what they're pursuing may not be the right avenue, and they're trying to work out what they need to do. And there's a realisation that comes out of this film for them, which really makes them feel like they've evolved quite a bit. And it's not only about writing a song that sort of unifies everyone, but there's more to it than that. And I kind of like the direction they go with this film. And it really is a journey in itself, not only for the characters, but for us as an audience member. There's a lot of references to the first two films, which I really like, and this running joke they keep up with Missy and what happens with her in this film that they did in the previous two. And there's returning characters. The actress who played Missy returns, Ted's father returns, which I really thought was great. And like I said, William Sadler returns as Death, and he's fantastic. He steals a lot of the scenes that he appears in, and he was probably the best thing about Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It's good to see William Sadler returning here, playing Death once again, which I really, really liked, and he was so fun. I think this film's relevant in that it's sort of about how we're all going through the same thing, and we're still disconnected, but we want to feel connected, and we're trying to be connected through videos and stuff like that, where we connect with each other in a different way because of what's going on. And I think this film really encapsulates that. It's a film we really needed now. Something that's fun and light and entertaining, but has a really positive and good message in the film. And I'm glad this film came out when it did, and it was important, I think, in a lot of ways. Even if it is a bit silly at times, it still has something to say. I think all the acting's solid. I think that Keanu's great back doing what he does. He doesn't feel to me he can recapture who he was in the first film, but I kind of like that. It's sort of an evolution a little bit, and he's trying to return to something he had done previously in a different way. I like that. I think Alex Winters is fantastic here. He hadn't acted since the 90s, and he sort of slipped back into Bill in such a brilliant way, and he really committed to this role. We get to see alternate versions of the characters, and the way that Alex Winters plays that is fantastic. He's very fun. He really feels like the Bill that we met in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Like, it just really feels like him, and I was really blown away by him in this. And his chemistry with Keanu is still really fantastic, and you really buy these two guys as lifelong friends and musicians, and guys that have been trying to have a break once again into the music industry like they did previous. And it's just really great to see them interact with each other and interact with the different versions of themselves that they do see throughout the film. Samara Weaving is great here. She's an actress I'm really becoming a big fan of. She's only done a small amount of things, but I've seen most of what she's done, and I really enjoy her performances. And she's really great here playing Thea. She's really like funny and entertaining, and sort of really captures that thing that Bill has, and I like that. She just really feels like she's enjoying herself and having fun, and is really good in this, and has great chemistry with Bridget Lundy Payne as well, who plays Billy. And she really encapsulates Keanu Reeves, the way he moves, the way he used to move, and it really feels like they're father and daughter, and I really love that. And their chemistry together is great, and their chemistry with Keanu and Alex is great as well on screen. I really love these Thea and Billy. They were such great characters. I like they have their sort of own journey in the film, and they play an important part to the plot rather than just being there as daughters, which I really liked. They serve a much bigger purpose than what they seem to begin with, which I thought was a brilliant idea and a good way to do it. It's just very engaging characters, and the mission that they go on there and what they do to help their fathers is really fun and entertaining to watch. Christine Satchell plays Kelly, which in the movie she's ultimately Rufus's daughter, and she has the name of George Carlin's actual daughter, which I really liked. It's just, I thought she did a really good job in this. She really felt like a fun character. Her design of the clothing of the future looked really good. I liked her sort of time travel device was sort of like this egg, like a futuristic thing, which I thought was cool. And she had some fun and interesting moments through the film, and I think she does a really great job. This time around, the princesses, Elizabeth and Joanna, are played by Erin Hayes and Jamar Mays, and I really thought they did a solid job here. They kept the English accents, and having new actresses come in and play already set characters was kind of an interesting way to go about it. The chemistry with Keanu and Alex is really good, and they have sort of their own little journey in the film as well, which is really cool. I think the visual effects are solid for what they're going for. I like the design and the world that they've created. I like what hell looks like in the futuristic world that we see. I think that's really well done. And I like a lot of the visual effects that happen throughout it due to particular things transpiring and characters appearing and disappearing. I really thought that was really effective, and especially the end, the third act, and then the last sort of part of the film, it really felt like they were using different visual effects to create an interesting element to that particular sequence. There's a really great tribute to George Carlin's Rufus in this as well. It's only small and minor, but I like what they do. I like his appearance, and I like that they're paying tribute to this man, because I think George Carlin did a fantastic job in these films, and it's good they're able to pay tribute to him, but also put him in a way that's really fitting and perfect for what they're going for, and I like that. Overall, it's a fun and entertaining movie. I had a blast with it. I enjoyed thoroughly. It's on my top 10. I just thought this was fantastic, and I highly recommend everyone to see this. Final thoughts. In the essence, like I said, I think this film's really about people uniting and coming together for a similar cause. That sometimes we feel disconnected, but we're all part of the same, and that we're all trying to live life in a way and feel connected to one another and connected to the world around us. And I think this film really sort of looks at that and talks about that and tries to connect us to something like that. There's a message trying to be conveyed, a positive message, and the director really has something to say, and the film is saying something, even with its silly moments. And I think it's powerful in the simplicity of it. And it gets back to the simplicity of the first film, but adds something new, unique and different to it. And I just was really impressed with my experience with this, and I think they did a great job. I'm going to give Bill and Ted Face the Music 4 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. Definitely check it out. It's good to see Keanu and Alex Winters back doing this role that sort of put them on the map in a way, and I really loved that, and they do such a great job. I was entertained from beginning to end, and I had many moments of laughter in it, and I absolutely loved it. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe at the bottom. Follow me on Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.